Hello and welcome to the Happy Hour Hustle podcast with our host, Kim Bodie.
I am absolutely thrilled to be chatting with you.
Principal and fearless leader of 834 Integrated Communications. On this podcast, you're going to learn a lot about a lot, like public relations, marketing, digital, and advertising.
That's a nice way of putting it.
Forgive us if you hear some dogs in the background. We love them, and there's a medium-sized pack at the office at all times.
Fantastic.
So grab a glass of wine, preferably one with ice in it, and learn a little something today.
Well, hey, hustlers, welcome to our last podcast of 2021. We figured we'd go out with a bang and talk a little bit about brand activism. We recently published a blog called Our Top 5 Opinions, which is funny because we definitely have more than 5 opinions. But I wanted to talk a little bit. Brand activism is something that we have written quite a bit about. In fact, go and search through our blogs and you'll see no shortage in at least 3 or 4 on this topic. Brand activism is the type of activism in which a business plays a leading role in the processes of social, political, economic, or environmental change. It's expressed through vision, values, goals, communication, and behavior of the businesses and the brands towards the communities they serve. Ultimately, it's standing up for what you feel is right. So we take a stand on a variety of issues and I guess you could say we discuss it, or we make our opinions known, if you will. So I wanted to kind of go through what our top 5 opinions for the last year were. And like I said, we definitely have more than this, but we tackled gendered marketing. And interestingly enough, we were just saying that, companies need to think outside the gender, be inclusive, or face extinction. Weirdly, the blog had some very different responses. I think you can guess what camp we're entrenched in, but others felt like advertising needed to be very specific to men or women, which is problematic because that doesn't even account for those who don't fit into traditional gender roles. Short-sighted is the best way to, I guess, summarize how we feel kind of about that, and companies that don't, or people that don't understand that you have to think outside gender. It's also stupid and stereotypical, and it's more likely to result in outrage than providing the actual benefits you could possibly reap when you're thinking of, women razors, and let's make them pink and not as effective as men's razors, which is why we all steal our husbands' or significant others' razors, because men's razors are better. And then basically that sums up how we feel about that. The other thing we talked about was girl boss. Women are equal to men, period. We need to stop using terms like girl boss, mompreneur, CEO. That one's terrible. Using terms like those undermines the very achievements they were coined to cheer on. The need for a gendered qualifier instantly sets women's accomplishments apart from those of our masculine colleagues, like the now frowned upon term female athlete and actress. They both assume male dominance. We need to demand equality at home and in the workplace, which is why we are banning the use of these very sexist terms, or saying, a woman's a leader or a woman's a boss. The gender doesn't come to play into that. The other thing that we talked about was the code of ethics as it related to the Trump administration. We've had a lot to say about this over the years, so we're not really going to jump into it. But the blog that we tackled, which again, you can go on our website and it's our top 5 opinion blogs, is we simply talked about the individuals who worked for the Trump administration and the fact that obviously they were looking for jobs, still are. I'm going to hope most of them still are. And that you can't go from working for a problematic company who doesn't stand for brand activism or doesn't have brand activism, who, their platform is racism and misogyny, and then expect to go on to another company and be employable. So allowing individuals like Spicer, Hicks, Conway to continue to be employed in our industry is just unacceptable. They chose their lies, and we must choose truth. The other thing we talked a whole heck of a lot about is the Great Resignation. We've done a podcast, several blogs. We've spoke to the media about it. You name it, we've literally done it. A lot of the blame lies with employers for not listening, being flexible, adapting to a changing world, and basically all around having a shitty culture. And culture is something that we have to work at every single day. We make mistakes. Leaders make mistakes, and the best we can do is to own it, fix it, apologize for it, and try and do better by our employees. And sometimes those mistakes mean an employee is going to leave when you wish they wouldn't, or they wouldn't make that choice. But again, the best we can ever do as a company or as humans in general is to learn from our mistakes and promise ourselves and those around us we're going to do better. Now, I'm going to end you with our last blog, which was essentially That's So Meta, where we talk about Facebook and, their rebranding to Meta. Like, it's not hard-hitting news, but we just think it's so utterly ridiculous. I think we read they paid $6 million for the rights to this name. And all we can think is, but why? Just why? Why would you do that? Because it's absolutely horrible. The blog that we did write on it, though, was quite funny because we screenshot some tweets and such. And, anyway, if you need a good laugh before a stressful holiday season, we suggest that you holiday week, because literally Christmas is this week. Can you guys believe that? That's insane. Anyway, so in conclusion, we write a lot about opinions. We have a lot of opinions. We plan to continue to share those in 2022. And off with gender marketing. Goodbye. No more to girl boss. Code of ethics, Trump administration. Obviously, ethics and Trump shouldn't be in the same sentence. And then we talk about the Great Resignation, which we will always continue to be learning about, and Facebook and Meta. And with that, folks, Merry Christmas. We really do wish you the best in 2022, and we can't wait to entertain you with even more of these fascinating podcasts that we're recording. I've been getting words wrong all week long. Like, I use siphon when I meant siphon. Either way, it doesn't matter. You guys love these podcasts because I just go on I have random conversations with myself.